Yeah, I think we can just get started. Thank you so much for joining. So first of all, maybe just a bit of housekeeping. This meeting is currently being recorded. This is so that we can also be able to share it out for those who've not been able to attend today. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining. This is going to be a very exciting session. So first of all, for those of you who don't know, I think I'd like to first start by just mentioning a bit about who Pong is before we go straight into the heart of the matter. And what we want to talk about today is about email security. But before we get there, let me just explain who Pong is and why we are hosting this amazing webinar for you. So as you can see on my screen, Pong Agencies is an ICT company. The company, amongst the services that we offer are IC systems integration. So we offer four main services: MSP, that's we are managed ICT service providers. We do offer cybersecurity services, such as the ones that we're offering today in terms of email security. We also do IT infrastructure. So if you do have an office that you want to set up and you do want any of the network infrastructure up and running, we'll be able to come and with you. And we're also ICT consultants. So anything around ICT within your organization in terms of digital transformation, in terms of things to do with data protection, we are here to come and help you work with the organization towards that. So Pong Agencies was founded about 20 years ago, and we have a great knowledge and experience in both private and public projects of different complexities, large and small. So in terms of our value proposition, like I mentioned, we've handled hundreds and hundreds of various projects, both large and small. And in terms of complexity, anything from something very simple to something very large and complex. So these are things that we can be able to work with. And we believe in purpose-driven technologies. If you look at our slogan, what we talk about as Pong Agencies is we believe in technology with purpose. So we see that often there's a need for people to interact and be connected to each other. So Pong Agencies comes in and plays that role in enabling you and your organization and your team to be able to focus on what they do best and leave you to focus on what you do best. And as an organization working towards ensuring that you achieve that in terms of ensuring your technology is up and running. So some of the clients that we've worked with as Pong Agencies, we worked with people like Kenya School of Monetary Studies, Equity Bank, Nairobi Hospital, Telcom Kenya, Two Rivers Mall, the police. So as you can see, we do have quite a bit of experience in the market. And if you would like to see any of our references, please feel free to reach out and be able to share that with you. And these are contact details. So I just wanted to give you a quick brief about Pong Agencies before we get on. So I don't use that to take too much time. So as we move on, I'd like to first of all just introduce the next two speakers who will be talking about email security with you. So we do have Kennedy Wanjohi, who's one of our lead engineers, and we do have Rose Masharia, who's our cybersecurity engineer. So they shall be taking you through about Pong Agencies in terms of our offering for email security. But also, I think more importantly, right now in this time and age, there's so many, there's so much. I mean, sorry to say, trash that we receive on our emails a lot of times, and sometimes we confuse it for legit information. Think about, for example, within your organization, you could receive an email from your boss telling you that that you've been received a promotion, only to see that that email is actually not from your boss; it's from some malicious actors. So what will you do? How can you be able to ensure that you don't receive those emails? And in case you receive them, how are you able to deal with that? How are you able to empower your team members and your employees within your organization to know how to deal with such and ensure that you also have the right tools to ensure that all of that is filtered? So whatever comes into your emails is very important information that you can be able to use to make business decisions. So I'd like to introduce again Rose Mashari and Kennedy Wanjohi, who will come and just talk a bit about that. And then for you in the audience, please feel free to ask a question. We're not many of us, so you can unmute your microphone and perhaps even your video if you feel comfortable to just raise any questions. Or on the chat platform on the right side, you can also just feel free to chat and tell us who you are and also what you'd like to learn out of this. So I'd leave this over to you, Rose Masharia, and then perhaps you can also introduce Kennedy.
Okay, thank you, Jesse. So I'm Rose Masharia, and what I do, I basically do cybersecurity, and cybersecurity is my passion, so I hope you get to learn through whatever we share in the next, hopefully 30 minutes. Yeah. Let me give this chance to Kennedy to also introduce himself.
Yes, thank you, Rose. Yeah, Rose has introduced me and Jesse has also. So yeah, I'm Kennedy Wanjohi. I'm a lead cybersecurity consultant at Pong. And yeah, so for the past few years, we've seen over 90% of attacks starting from malicious email. And we've seen cyber criminals constantly trying to attack the number one vectors, which is exploiting human nature and the lack of tight security. So this is what really got us into developing this content so that we can educate our audience on the importance of secure email, because it's no longer an option. You also have to comply with the Data Privacy Act on how you manage confidential information. So Rose here is going to take us through on the importance of securing your email, and we're looking forward to a very interactive session. Thank you. Rose, over to you.
Thank you, Kennedy. So yeah, if I'm too fast, kindly just slow me down. And so on to our first slide. Yeah, as Kennedy said, these days, as Kennedy and Jesse said, these days we get a lot of trash emails, and we need to know how to protect and mitigate against such emails. So, Kennedy, kindly go to the next slide. So yeah, take a few minutes and just read through the slide and see all these incidences. So every week we hear that there are new attacks out there, and we get to see who was attacked, how they were attacked, and sometimes we also see the companies trying to mitigate. But one thing we forget is that even the small businesses and even all the companies in Kenya, we're also prone to the attacks. So Kenya is not that safe because most of the people here say, my business is too small. There's nothing the hackers can get out of my business. But trust me, every business has something an attacker needs. So the world is big, and most likely in the time we've been talking, probably 15 or 20 attacks have already gone to some companies. This is because the attackers have gotten an easier way to do them. They have automated their ways. So one of the latest attack that happened like 3 or 4 days ago, I guess, is the Uber attack. I hope everyone has heard about it. Yeah, if you have some time, just go read about them and see how they were shook by the attacker. And the attacker was just one teenager. So an attacker can be of any age. Doesn't matter if it's a high schooler, a college person, or a professional. Next slide. Yeah. So 52% of attacks against small businesses come from phishing emails. So we'll see what a phishing email is. This attack has risen from the previous year. The previous year, it was around 48%. Yeah, but by 2022, the attacks had risen to 52%, which is quite a high number. So what is phishing? So phishing, kindly go to the next slide. Phishing is it's a type of attack. Okay, now it's a type of attack where someone pretends to be someone else and try to get your personal information, or they try to get you to click a link in which when you click that link, you might either download a malware or a spyware, which may lead to another attack. So basically, phishing is an email scam designed to steal personal information from victims. So this is as I said, it's the most common way how the most common way how an attacker can get into your organization. And once let's say you click that link, you'll download a malware. Yes. There's one attack we call ransomware that may come after introducing the malware into your company. So what is ransomware? Ransomware is a form of attack where an adversary encrypts all your company's data and later asks you to pay so that they can decrypt your data. And most of the time they ask you to pay in bitcoins. Bitcoins are hard to come along. And even if you come along the bitcoins and pay the ransom, chances are you won't get back your data. They'll ask for more. So that's also another type of attack that is a threat to the emails. So on to the next one, which is phishing, spear phishing. Spear phishing is a type of phishing campaign that targets a specific person or a group, and often will include information to it will often include information known to the person they are targeting. Let's say financial documents. Someone wants to get their financial documents. What they will do is that they will target the financial department, not just the whole company, but they'll specifically craft an email just to target the maybe HR, yeah, such kind of people. So, okay, in spear phishing, most of the time it doesn't have a link. You'll just find but it has a payload. You'll just find that you have an email saying, "Hey, I'm the CFO." Like if you get an email from your CFO, that's the Chief Finance Officer, telling you like to check your accounts payable. Definitely, you'll go check because you are very curious. What is the CFO trying to get to tell me? You'll definitely open that email, and high chances that email, it might look as if it's from your CFO, but if you don't check the grammar, some very tiny bits of the email, you might end up introducing malware and thinking that the email was legit, of which it was not legit. So spear phishing is just an attack that targets specific people in an organization. So on to the next slide. Yeah, as you can see, this is a statistics that was done in 2021 by the Barracuda team. As you can see from the bars, it's rising. Yeah, so spear phishing has been mostly because of the corona period. That was the time we saw a lot of spear phishing attacks happening. So yeah, on to the next slide. So spear phishing attacks. Spear phishing can be done in very different tactics. So as I said, spear phishing is a type of campaign that targets a specific person. So attackers may use tactics like scamming, brand impersonation, blackmail, or business compromise. On a research done by Barracuda Sentinel, one of the tools offered by the Barracuda team, it shows, as you can see, 54% was scams, and 34% of spear phishing came in form of brand impersonation. We'll see all these and explain better. And 11% came in form of blackmail, and the other 1% came in form of business email compromise. So let's see what each of the following means. Next slide. Yeah, this is just another one of the statistics done. So yeah, just go to the next. Different types of spear phishing. Yeah, as I said, there's brand impersonation, business email compromise, blackmail, and scamming. So the first one we'll look at is the brand impersonation. As you can see there, you can see the name Google. You can see the name Google. An attacker may just come into your email and say, "Hi, I'm Google. kindly check your account has been compromised. Go to the next slide, please. Brand, yeah, that one. Yeah, so yeah, brand impersonation. Someone saying, "Hi, I'm Google," or the common one, "Hi, I'm PayPal. Your account has been compromised. We're just trying to verify that you are you. Please input your information so you don't get locked." So if you don't check the email well, you might get compromised. Mostly because, like, the name Google has two O's. What an attacker might do is just change the O to be a 0 or an O with some funny mark on top of it. And without checking here, you'll see as if the email is from Google. So there's one huge issue with PayPal that was there. I'm not so sure when, but PayPal suffered from such an attack. Many people who are using PayPal were getting some funny mails like, "Hey, hi, we are PayPal. Please confirm this your account," and many people got hacked. And the blame went to PayPal, but PayPal were not to blame. It all lies onto you because you didn't confirm the email if it's exactly from PayPal. And next is the next one will be a business email and business email compromised. Just a minute. Yeah. This is an exploit in which an attacker obtains access to your business email accounts and imitates the owner's identity. If I may get an example, let me use maybe Jesse's or Kennedy's email. As Jesse said, he's a CEO of Pong. So an attacker might just check on Jesse's email and try to craft a similar email to that of Jesse and send all the employees in Jesse's company. So the moment we see an email from Jesse, we'll definitely open because you're curious what does Jesse want. So you have to open the email. Then that is how you get compromised via business email. Business email compromise. It's very personal, does not contain malicious links or attachments, and it's usually personal or something urgent. The last one is blackmail. Yeah, blackmail. So blackmail is basically just an attacker who is sending an email saying they have your information. Mostly these can go to young guys. Most young guys have very weird browsing histories, and once an attacker gets hold of their browsing histories, they'll be like, "Hey, I have your browsing history, and if you don't want me to let it out there, please, you have to pay me some cash, do this for me." So basically, that's how blackmail works. Does not contain any malicious link or attachment. It's just the aim for blackmail is embarrass someone. And as I said, mostly it happens to young guys, but yeah, you'll still find even older guys being blackmailed. On to the next slide. So yeah, we've said some few ways how an attacker can get into your organization through the emails. So what damage can a successful attack do? One, a successful attack will have damage to your business and to your personal life. So
sorry, Rose, can I cut you off for a second?
yes,
Maybe just to
yes.
add on, even before you move on to what the attack can do, also just mentioning beyond, I know this is purely on email, but also just mentioning to people that outside of email phishing, sometimes you have things called smishing, which are for SMSs, where you receive an SMS maybe from your mom or your dad. Somebody masked that and was able to put that in terms of a contact, just saying, "This is coming from your dad, they're asking you for money. Please send this amount of money," or sometimes even voice phishing, where it could be a phone call Again, with deepfakes nowadays, you can be able to fake somebody else's voice very with a bit of a deepfake knowledge. So there are also other forms of phishing that are there that people need to be careful about. So I just thought it was necessary to note that just before moving on.
Yeah. Actually, I do have a message from some number. They sent me, "Hey, mom, they wanted a calculator," and I was like, okay. Yeah, so as Jesse said, there are different types of phishing. So we just have to be careful and just be vigilant on what is sent to us. So let's look at the various way an attack can damage our reputation. So onto the risk to the business. One is loss of data. Once let's say your data is encrypted, that means you can't access your data. Your customers' data, your employees' data is all gone. Two will be downtime. If you're an organization that is carrying day-to-day business to your customers, the moment a service goes down, that will have a huge impact to your business. Three is loss of productivity. By the time you recover from the attack, it will be like a month or two before you regain back to factory reset. Four will be post-attack disruptions. With an attack comes more revenue. With this, I can give an example with the Uber company. Uber was hacked. Currently, there's these job offers that they have all over LinkedIn. If someone has seen them, they only waited for them to get hacked for them to take their security serious. So the moment you start hiring other guys, that will drain your revenue. Number five will be restoration. Definitely, when your data is encrypted or you're hacked or you have some trojans in your computers, you won't continue to use the old computers. You will need new systems, or if not new systems, the cost of cleaning all your systems will be a huge blow on your face. So the last one will be reputation. Reputation. Your name will be tarnished. It will be tarnished proper. Cause like now, just give an example. I'll give a lot of examples with the Uber guys. Because now most of the guys who are using Uber, or like me who have never used Uber, someone told me just recently, let's take an Uber, and I was like, the Uber that was hacked. That is only me. How many other guys are asking that same question? Like now, the trust your customers had is gone. So reputation will be hard to regain. On to the next slide. Yeah. Just a small recap of the security challenges we see. A small recap of what I said. We've seen different ways email attacks. We've seen different ways we can get email attacks. That is from phishing, spear phishing. We've heard of smishing. We've heard of vishing. There's ransomware. There's blackmail. Yeah, and the rest. How most and in these attacks, mostly they target the employees. So employees fall victim to these attacks. Another thing is lack of resources of incident response. What does this mean? Companies haven't invested in tools to help them identify security alerts. So I'm not sure if Uber had some tools, but once you take your time and invest in the security of your organization, this goes a long way, because there are these tools that use AI to just detect some malicious activities or some malicious payloads that have just come in. So you're able to stop them before they can tarnish your organization's name. Yeah, we've seen one of the impacts is, another impact is data loss. You get your employees get distracted, and you lose your reputation. On to the next slide. So strategy, yeah, okay. Let's go back to the strategies to keep your business secure. For these, there are three ways you can keep your business secure. The first one is on the technology side, the second one is on the people side, and the other one is on the business continuity. So on the technology side, as I said, you can invest in the various automated tools that the security field has to offer. These are the incident response tools like a SIM. A SIM is a security information event management tool. This just keeps tracks of every log in the organization, and with this, it has AI, yes. And with every log being logged, it's able to see what is malicious and what is allowed. So you can also use encryption tools and also some tools like data loss protection tools. On the people's side, the first and most common thing you have to do is educate your users. You have to do security awareness training, and after the security awareness training, do some phishing simulations. This will help in the phishing simulation will help in seeing if what your employees were taught on the security awareness training, they actually understood it. And for the business continuity, this is like having backups, cloud backups, and email continuity. In case your email is compromised, have another backup failover in just for the business continuity. Cloud backup, if you have your data in a server, have a backup in maybe Asia or AWS. Just in case you lose your data is encrypted on your server, you have another place to retrieve your data. Yeah. On to the next slide. Yeah, this is almost exactly what I explained: data protection and email continuity. So, email services. What email services do we offer? On this slide, this is just that slide. On this slide, it's just an email ecosystem that everyone needs to make sure they have covered. That is employee defense that you cover with security training. Inbox defenses you have, that is inbox defenses, and the last one, gateway defenses. That is deploying tools that will help you just monitor your email. Resilience, as I said, have a backup of your backup. Yeah, to the next slide is. So here we get to see the different email security products that Barracuda offers. And the first one will be managed phishing line. So Barracuda phishing line is an email security awareness and phishing simulation. It's designed to protect your organization against targeted phishing attacks. So another feature it has is that it has security training modules and phishing simulation that help you discover your customers' vulnerabilities. And in regards to phishing, as I said, phishing mostly try to get your data. And with the regulations in place like the GDPR and the KDPA, they require business to provide security awareness training to the employees. So it would be a good thing to have this tool in your company, just even to be compliant. And then the next product will be managed. Will be no business Barracuda email security and ATP. ATP just stands for Advanced Threat Protection. This tool provides a comprehensive real-time protection against all known and unknown advanced threats. When it comes to malware, each malware has a certain signature. So there are those known signatures, and for those known signatures, it's easy to identify them. Mostly if you have a tool that uses AI, it's easy to identify them. And for those that are unknown, there are these things, there are these features called sandboxes where if it's unknown and looks malicious, it will first go through a sandbox for it to get checked if it's malicious or not. If it's malicious, it's blocked. If it's not malicious, it's given a go through. So yeah, with this tool, you can integrate it with Office 365, Microsoft Exchange, or even G Suite. So it's integratable with any of the three products. The next and last product is Barracuda Sentinel. Barracuda Sentinel is it combines AI, that's artificial intelligence, to stop phishing attacks. Many gateways out there. Barracuda it's not the only email security providing company. There are others. So many gateway defenses usually miss. They usually miss these types of attacks without payload. But for the Sentinel, with or without a payload, it's able to identify a malicious email. So one of the features of the Barracuda Sentinel is the DMARC reporting. What do we mean by DMARC? Just a minute. DMARC is a protocol that allows you to monitor emails sent from customers' domain. So in case your customer, an example, you have a customer. Your customer is working for another company. Their company has been attacked, but maybe they don't know. But now your customer sends you an email, and maybe it has a link or an attached malware. So the DMARC protocol helps identify the emails. So this is one of the main feature of the Barracuda Sentinel, the DMARC reporting and the AI for real-time protection. Yeah, so email security checklist. One, evaluate spear phishing risk with Barracuda email threat scanner. Leverage automated tools for incident response. Continue to educate your users. Check your encryption and the DLP, data loss protection policies. Enable cloud-to-cloud backup, as I said, have a backup of your backup, and enable email continuity. Have a backup of your current email. Your current email tool. If you're using Outlook, have another one that in case Outlook goes down, you have another one for a failover. Yes. So this concludes my presentation. But what are the key takeaways? The key takeaways from this is train your employees. Training is vital. Once you see some malicious, not some malicious, no, if you don't know how to identify some emails, once you see a suspicious email, kindly ask. It's always good to seek someone's advice. And for these days, it's easy for someone to get your credentials because anyone who can use a Linux distro, these are Kali Linux, Parrot OS, and the others, they can easily create a payload to get your credentials. So just take a minute and look into your emails carefully. And if you're not sure, just go to your security team and ask them, hey, is this email suspicious or not? They will help you out. So those are the key takeaways from my presentation. So any questions?
Yeah, I saw Robert had asked a question earlier, just to emphasize that, Kenyan companies are hit every day, and that's the truth. The only thing is that you'll find, for example, especially people who pay ransom, there's no way they'll go out and actually disclose that to anybody. But you'll be surprised the number of financial institutions that are hit out there in Kenya. So, and one, I think there's something that that the presenter here, Rose, had alluded before, something to do with social engineering. The individual is normally the biggest risk within your organization. Okay, not even the tools that you're using. It's normally individuals. So, for example, somebody comes and leaves their email open on their desktop. Okay, somebody can be able to easily see what is happening. If they didn't log out, again, that is still a threat that is happening. Perhaps they are operating from a Java cafe or somewhere else. Again, that's something that can be, some of those challenges can be can be solved by a bit of social engineering. Just being able to educate your employees, your team members, your board, all the way from up going down. Just being able to try and educate everyone, even customers who are able to access your systems. Just being able to try and educate them in terms of best practices. And then just being able to look at, tell them, for example, certain emails you definitely should not open. If it's suspicious, it probably is. If it looks suspicious, if it's probably something that has to do that get rich scheme, definitely that is often very suspicious. If it's something that has to do with again, somebody telling you like what Ross was just saying, somebody telling you perhaps they have your nudes or they have any pictures of yours, for sure, just consider that perhaps some sort of suspicious email. So if it's anything that just looks a bit crazy, just consider that a bit of a suspicious email. So what we were saying with Barracuda and also other providers that we have is we can be able to do for training, some sort of phishing training for your organization. So that means that what you'll end up doing is we'll set up an environment where everyone within your organization will be sent for an email. Okay, that will look like a very legit email. However, we'll put a few clues just to show whether people are understanding what a suspicious email looks like. So if it's suspicious and you still have people clicking, those people who actually click that email will be prompted to do an online training, which shall probably take about 20 minutes. And that online training will probably just tell them now, these are the kind of emails they should look at, these are the kind of things that they should look out for. So that sort of training, very brief, very easy to do, is normally very helpful for organization in terms of just ensuring that your people are very well empowered and know exactly what to do when they receive certain suspicious looking sort of like emails. Yeah, there's Maxwell. I saw you had the question.
Yes. My name is Maxwell. I work as a web developer, and I've developed some cPanel-based solutions for my clients, and they were complaining about the security behind the emails. So my question was, does any of the product for Barracuda integrate with cPanel? And one more question, if I have an incoming email, and how will it prevent it from being directed to spam, or how will this feature like prevent me from clicking these emails with the clickbaits?
Okay. For cPanel, it has been quite a challenge finding a tool that actually supports cPanel. I've not come across any. For Barracuda, I know they integrate with Microsoft 365, Exchange, and as I said, the G Suite. But for cPanel, I've not come across any security tool unless Jesse, have you? I'm
Yes.
not.
Actually, Rose actually Barracuda integrates with cPanel. Maxwell,
It
I know you
does.
understand. Yeah. With the MX
Okay.
records. I believe there are 2 MX records you should add, and then your emails will be first sieved through the spammer account, and then you won't get the spam emails. So there's an integration for cPanel in Barracuda.
Ah, that's nice. We are all learning. Yeah, that's nice. Hope that answered your question.
Yes, thank you.
All right. Do we have any other questions? You can also type them in the chat if you do not want to unmute. All right. If you don't have any other questions, I'll allow Kennedy to take over from here. Just to mention a bit about beyond email security. Like I mentioned, we are a fully integrated house where we offer integrated ICT solutions, both security and otherwise. So Kennedy, over to you. Maybe you can just mention a bit more about what else we do and how we can be able to help protect your organization better.
Yes, Jesse, thank you. So yeah, my name is Kennedy, and I'm going to introduce you to our technology offerings. So we do have something called Pong Cybersecurity 360, and this is an end-to-end cybersecurity solution that covers your whole ICT infrastructure landscape, all from the logical security, physical security, and network security. And we've partnered with leading cybersecurity vendors all the way from CrowdStrike to Barracuda, Trend Micro, Fortinet, and we do have real ground experience and technical know-how on how to install these solutions and equipment in our client premises with our track record of companies that we've served. So I'll go deep into the solutions that we are offering. So number one is the data privacy and compliance management software with PrivIQ. So around these, we do offer both the solution and the training, and also the human personnel who may be involved in trying to ensure your organization acquires compliance. So I'll go to the next one, which is intrusion detection and prevention systems. Both of these systems detect threat activity in form of malware, spyware, viruses, worms, and other attack types. We also offer anti-malware solution, network access control solutions, next-gen firewalls, authentication and authorization solutions, the EDRs, vulnerability assessment, and penetration testing solutions. So on vulnerability assessment, this is the process of identifying risks and vulnerabilities in computer networks, systems, and hardware, along with the applications. So what we do is we install an agent in your servers, which will learn your environment, and then we're going to produce a report which will assist us know the amount of vulnerability, your threat landscape, and also the mitigation ways. And then on the penetration testing, this is a bit different. It's a simulated cyber attack against a company's security infrastructure to hunt down security vulnerabilities that need to be patched up. So pen testing is also part of all these security solutions that we offer. And thank you so much for sticking around. I'll take it back to Jesse.
All right, thank you. Maybe just go back to the slide. There's something I wanted to focus on. Yeah, there. No, the next one. There we go. Yeah, so about data privacy and compliance management. As you very well know, the Data Protection Act 2019 came into effect recently, and right now through the Data Protection Office in Kenya, you are required to register if you are a controller or processor. So that means that you handle any sort of data on behalf of your customers or in behalf of anyone, or you handle or you control any data. That is, you manipulate or you are able to process any data within your organization that does not belong to you or your organization. You are required to register with the Data Protection Office in Nairobi. And that means you're also required to have a data protection officer within your organization who's registered, and also pay an annual fee to the data protection office in Kenya. So we as Pong agencies, what we've done is that we know sometimes compliance can be a complex process because there's so many. I mean, the checklist is wide in terms of the number of things that you need to ensure that you have had within your organization so that you can be able to comply with all these laws that are within the DPA Act 2019. So as Pong agencies, what we've done is we do have a software called PrivIQ, whereby you're able to manage the whole compliance from one dashboard, a very simple looking dashboard, where you're able to ensure that your whole organization, you're able to train your employees well, you're able to undertake the necessary pen testing and vulnerability assessments necessary. You're able to ensure that you're doing whatever that you can to be able to ensure your customers' data or whatever data it is that you're processing or controlling is well protected and is not prone to attack or is not prone to actually being misused. So what the compliance management tool is ensure that you're able to manage that for very macro level and ensure that you're able to track progress within a given year, and ensure that in terms of compliance, in case the data person comes in from the government and comes in, or somebody reports your organization perhaps for misuse of their data, you're able to be compliant, and you're also able to show that this is what you've actually been doing within your organization to do that. So if you require any information around that, again, please feel free to reach out to us, and we'll be able to give you a demo in terms of how our data privacy and compliance management software operates and how it can be able to help your organization better be compliant, given that this has actually become something that we'll have to be doing as organizations within this country of Kenya. And then the advantage of the software, again, it's very tailored to the KDPA, the Kenya Data Protection Act. Of course, if you have branches outside of Kenya, perhaps in Europe, it's also compliant with GDPR and other sort of laws, HIPAA, if you're a healthcare organization, but it's also tailored for the Kenyan situation. So again, this is something that we can be able to take you guys through if need be. So just feel free to reach out to the contacts that we had put at the end of this slide. Otherwise, I know some of you joined in a bit late. So thank you for joining us. Unfortunately, we're at the end of this session. We are reaching, it should be about the top of the hour, and this was supposed to take place for an hour. So we shall be able to share, we can share with you the recording for those of you who came in a bit late, just to see what we're talking about in terms of email protection, how best to protect your organization, how best to protect your people, and ensure that your data is held with high integrity. So feel free to reach out to us. Once again, I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Jesse Moriah. I'm the CEO at Pong Agencies. And also I'd like to thank Rose Masharia, our lead cybersecurity engineer, for taking us through this session, and also Kennedy also for briefing us about the organization and what we do. So others, thank you all for joining, and feel free to reach out to us via email, and we'll be happy to engage further with your teams in terms of compliance management, in terms of email security. And in case you are curious about Barracuda, we are authorized partners for Barracuda. So Barracuda is a leading email security provider globally. It's probably within the Gartner reviews, it's probably quite up there. So feel free to reach out to us, and we'll be able to give you a quote, we'll be able to give you a demo if required, so that you can be able to ensure that your organization is well protected. And for other email security solutions with people like Microsoft 365, again, we authorized partners with Microsoft, so we can be able to also help onboard you and your environment. Others, thank you so much for joining us for this session. Wish all of you a very good rest of the day. Those of you who are out of Kenya, perhaps good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. So thank you very much, and kwaheri.